Okay, we ready? Welcome to the Lancaster City Council meeting. Let's call it to order. City Clerk.
Council Member, Agency Director, Authority Member Mann.
Present.
Smith. Underwood Jacobs.
Present.
Vice Mayor, Vice Chairman Christ.
Present.
Mayor Chairman Paris.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Tonight the invocation is Reverend Angus Bauer from St. Columbia's Anglican Church.
That's Anglican Church, Mr. Mayor.
I'm sorry.
And
I was raised in Palmdale and I don't know how to speak.
the church traces its ancestry to Joseph of Arimathea, who had tin mines in Cornwall. And so it comes from England and it dates from the 1st century. I shall read Psalm 15, the high priestly psalm, the psalm which says, "What is required of a man who wishes or who attains the office of priest in the temple? Lord, who shall dwell in thy tabernacle? Who shall rest upon thy holy hill? Even he that leadeth an uncorrupt life, and doeth the thing which is right, and speaketh the truth from his heart. He that hath used no deceit in his tongue, nor done evil to his neighbor, and hath not slandered his neighbor. He that setteth not by himself, but is lowly in his own eyes, and maketh much of them that fear the Lord. He that sweareth unto his neighbor, and disappointeth him not, though it were to his own hindrance. He that hath not given his money upon usury, nor taken reward against the innocent. Whosoever doeth these things shall never fall." Let us pray. Most gracious God, we humbly beseech thee, as for the people of these United States in general, and especially for this state and its representative. O God, the fountain of wisdom, whose statutes are good and gracious, and whose law is truth, we beseech thee so to guide and bless the mayor of this fair city and the council, that it may ordain for our governance only such things as please thee, to the glory of thy name and the welfare of the people, through Jesus Christ thy Son, our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Mr. Derryberry, in honor of that wonderful bow tie, would you do the pledge?
We're all facing the flag. Please place your hand over your heart and repeat with me. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. City Manager, anything to be removed?
No, sir.
So tonight we have a presentation to, we are becoming a city of champions. And every time I turn around, I'm giving an award to some young person from here who are champions, and I get to do it again. This is the Paraclete softball team. You won Division 6 championship, is that right? Wow, that's really cool. I'll be down in a minute. Let's go do this.
Killing me. Or after?
No, do it after.
See, Ken, if you don't come down, you can't get in the picture. If you can't get in the picture, then maybe people won't vote for you.
All right.
Isn't that how it works?
I thought I'd come down later, but
Ken,
I'll come down now.
take it with you.
Okay.
Put it on the desk.
Okay, how do we want to do this? You were going to help us, Mark? Sure. See, Mark went to Paraclete, so whenever you do something good, he takes credit for it. Been doing it for years.
At least 40,
I get my name in the trophy case, too.
at least 40.
Okay, do I have a thing to read? Okay, who wants to come and tell us what you did? Because they didn't write it down for me.
Margaret Neal, the coach.
So you're responsible for this? She did it all. Did you hear that? Tell us what they did.
They won their CIF championship. That's the first time that the softball team at our school has won the CIF championship. We've been there, this would be our 8th time, but they were the first team to win it, so good job.
Let's do the presentations. You want to do the, let's do the players first, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, come on down.
Outstanding.
Okay. Samantha Ariola, you're first. How are you? Let's do this over there. Let's do this over there so they can get the picture. And then Ken, you'll do the next one, okay? Now, you want to present it to her so she gets the, you got to put this on Facebook, you know? It's an important moment. Amber Brandmeier. Hi, Amber. How are you?
We're over here, we're gonna switch up.
Okay, absolutely. What, not here? That's bad. Alexis Hierro.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. Thank you.
You see how he came down here to get in the picture? You see that? Just came right down here to get in your glory.
It's my TV look.
Caitlin Johnson. Jenny Littlejohn.
We'll really be able to put this on Facebook.
Lots of Facebooks. You might get 5-6 votes out of that, Ken. Riley Maston. Julia Maya. Oh, there we go. Taylor Roberts. You know, this keeps distracting me. You'll be that old someday. Kayla Cersei. Off the team. Miami, not the city. Miami Thompson. Jasmine Vigilante. Addison Williams. Fallon Para. I love that name too. Maddie Johnson.
Congratulations.
Okay, let's get do we have nothing for the coaches? I am ashamed of my city. But let's bring the coaches down. We have Jimmy Johnson, Denise Jameson, Alina Reddy,
Yes, you're not here.
and Kristen Ware. And on behalf of the city of Lancaster, this is for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. What we'll do is we'll get the picture now, and then if any of the parents want to come down and get in the picture, let's do that, okay? Because
Who's going to take all the pictures?
that's what we hired these folks for. We got people. We got people. It really does take a village. I mean, without the coaches, I mean, you guys wouldn't have had this experience. Must have been an incredible experience, wasn't it? It's wonderful. Okay, we'll get behind you, and then let's do the photographs, okay?
I saw that. Oh, I'm not.
Okay, everybody should be looking right over here. If you guys don't mind, let's let these pictures on.
What am I doing?
Get the team shot and the city shot. Everybody. Okay, here we go, right here. And then family members, since you got this shot, can take the opportunity. Everybody stay pose.
My lips are hurting. What about you?
Take a shot, take a shot.
Okay, what do you guys do something bad? We all good? Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Or did they get the-
Mr. Mann has a presentation for you.
This is not on the script.
So one of the things that you know that I'm famous for is always presenting great pictures to great people. And a little over a year and a half ago, Mark got a picture, and I thought this would be a great picture that we would present to you. I'm sure that there'll be long-lasting memories. And I was going to ask you, is this a question about fracking, or what were you guys discussing? You might want to show it to everybody.
I was trying to get him to confess.
Anyway,
Thank you very much.
congratulations.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
For the record, I'll second that. All right,
Really? Do we really have to get a second on minutes?
yeah, we do.
Someday I'm going to read that Robert's Rules of Order, and you guys will be in trouble.
And I voted aye.
Okay, it passes. Consent calendar.
We need to pull CC2 and CC4. And I'll move that we approve the consent calendar as currently comprised, pulling CC3 and CC4.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Let's vote. unanimous. Michael Reeves, CC2 and CC4.
Excuse me, Mayor Paris, council, staff, ladies and gentlemen. I want to speak on CC2 and CC4 today. I'm disturbed that the city of Lancaster is spending a tremendous amount of money on landscaping in the city. In the current register, we have $28,000 for tree trimming, $63,000 for landscaping, and $37,000 for parks and landscaping. I'm wondering why we can't have staff in the city of Lancaster do that. We have the trucks that can elevate, and we can create jobs for the city government, good paying jobs by having our own people do the landscaping. The other thing I'd like to speak about is the proposed ordinance 1004. And I'm concerned, though, that the city is going to expose possibly some employees to danger by having them go out and cite people at unruly gatherings. I would like it stipulated in here that the sheriff's department would be the one to cite people and handle unruly gatherings. In my lifetime, I've arrested a few drunks, and I've arrested a few drunks that were on drugs. And let me tell you, it's not pleasant. You can hit these people, you can do whatever you can, they feel no pain. And if you send a unequipped, untrained officer out there, somebody's going to get hurt, and it isn't going to be the bad guy. So that's why in here we need to stipulate the sheriff's department. Now, I can understand you want to save money, and you don't want to have the sheriff's department go out there all the time, so you're going to hit them with a hefty citation. Well, I'm sorry, you're going to have trained personnel go out and cite these people and handle these problems. And I hope that the council will make an addition that only trained law enforcement people will go out there. Another thing that disturbs me about, we're getting in the not only civil field of citing, we're making it a misdemeanor. Do we have the power to create a misdemeanor in the city? And do we want to get involved in that? And the third thing I want to point about, I think in the book that the city clerk has, that we're going into uncharted territory and we may get a lawsuit on constitutional rights. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. I thought the only people going to do this were the Sheriff's Department and Mark Bozigian. Is that?
Actually, I do have the power, but I wouldn't be dumb enough to. So it will be the Sheriff's Department.
Thank you. Okay.
Motion to approve CC2, CC4.
I will second that.
Let's vote. It's unanimous. Public hearing item 1. We'll now open the public hearing. Is there a speaker card?
No speaker cards.
Let's waive the staff report. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
I got to close the public hearing. Now, is there a motion?
Motion to approve PH1.
Is there a second?
I will
second.
Go ahead.
I'll second.
Let's vote. It's unanimous. New business item 1. City manager.
No cards.
Mayor Paris, City Council members, I'm pinch hitting for Kelvin Tainatongo today. He's out ill. Before you is our 3 actions. One is to approve an MOU for next year's cohort of Vistas. You're going to briefly hear from Stephen Derryberry of the Lancaster Neighborhood Vitalization Commission, and then we're going to give a recap. The Vistas are going to give a recap of the 2 projects they're working on. Some of you have heard this before, which I apologize. This is a presentation that was given to LMVC, and then, Mayor, you hosted the Toast of the Town, so they'll recap that as well, too. And I think it's important that the public pay attention because they've really done a wonderful job. When I first heard of the VISTA program, I hate to admit it, my first thought was we get smart people on someone else's dime. And fortunately for me, that was the only decision I made other than to put Kelvin in charge of the program. And I mean that sincerely because we learned a lot. This is our second group of Vistas. First, we found out, and Kelvin's the perfect person for this, that you need to provide direction but not micromanagement, because you have very smart people who are accomplished. They're young, but they're accomplished. And Kelvin did a great job with that. Secondly, we learned that you pair smart people with committed people of the community, and Stephen Derryberry will talk about that from the Lancaster Vitalization Commission. And the third is that you don't place obstacles before people, you let them create and thrive. And it took us a little while to realize this, but we're really humming along right now with the VISTA program, as you'll see. So at the end of the presentations, while we're sad to see this group of VISTAs leave, although we are keeping our one local VISTA, Kelly, who will be working for us part-time to help transition the next group, we would ask that you approve the MOU before you so that we can have our third year of VISTA service to the Antelope Valley. With that, it's my pleasure to introduce the chairperson of the Lancaster Neighborhood Vitalization Commission, Mr. Stephen Derryberry. And his bow tie.
Why? I didn't realize wearing a bow tie would cause so much attention to myself. Usually that's my hair. I think Mayor Paris has said that over the years.
You're the only one. Anybody else got a bow tie? Raise your hand. See? It's just you.
With respect to the VISTA program, the city really is compelled to continue this. For the last 6 years, Mayor Paris and the council has entrusted me and my commission to come up with really good ideas to revitalize or vitalize our neighborhoods. We've come up with incredible ideas, but to implement those has been incredibly difficult until the VISTAs came to us. We've been able to start a program that's going to last for decades in the schools, to provide healthy neighborhoods, healthy kids, and in turn, healthy parents, healthy families, and healthy neighborhoods. This is something where we've started with the partnerships on a private, nonprofit basis and a for-profit basis. But to piggyback on what Mark said, a lot of the ideas that we've had over the years, we've had a very difficult time with implementing those. We're all very dedicated citizens here on our commission, but to be able to spend the time and effort to go out to the hospital and to the nonprofit and for-profit groups to really get these programs off the ground, it's just very difficult. The VISTAs have given us that opportunity. So I'd like to introduce Kelly Cunningham. And again, from our commission, I really hope that you'll continue this program for us. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. My name is Kelly Cunningham, and I'm here to present to you the end-of-year progress report on the city's community service and engagement program called OneLink. In March of this year, OneLink attended a council meeting to present and share what we had been doing for the first 6 months of our program, as well as what our plans were for the months ahead. During this meeting, we presented to you the new and improved OneLink website, software, and volunteer management features that are now being offered to our Antelope Valley community. We then shared with you our decision to develop a school initiative under the OneLink program in order to not only help our students succeed here in the AV, but to also help build a sustainable foundation for our program within our local education system. After that presentation and after the OneLink website became fully up and running, our outreach began with the community as a whole and especially within the schools. Through providing information sessions to the students, meeting with faculty, club advisors, and principals, OneLink's school initiative called Project Lead was developed, and in the coming school year will be carried out at Antelope Valley High School and Highland High School. Now, OneLink Project Lead initiative includes any project that OneLink will be involved in that is related to education and student success. This initiative is made possible by the partnerships of GCOM Services, a nonprofit that actually is registered on the OneLink website, Highland High School's Hero Club, Antelope Valley High School, and of course the City of Lancaster with the OneLink program. And right now, our Project Lead initiative incorporates 3 main components. Now, component 1 is the partnership with the Hero Club. The Hero Club, which Hero stands for Helping Everyone Reach Out, is a community service club that started at Highland High School and is sponsored and supported by Mr. Lemuel Galvao's nonprofit called GCOM Services. Mr. Galvao is also a teacher at Highland and is the club's advisor. OneLink will be involved by being the mandatory tool for the Hero Club members to upload their community service events, to apply for volunteer opportunities, and to log and verify their volunteer hours, Also, Mr. Galval will be able to approve and verify their hours too. Mr. Galval's goal is to expand this Hero Club to any high school in the district that is interested in it, and OneLink will expand with them by going with different clubs and expanding essentially to the whole campus. Our second component is a senior civics class involvement, which somebody reached out to us, a teacher, Mrs. Agnew from Highland High School, and she wanted OneLink to assist her in incorporating a service learning component in her school this coming school year. She has already made an account with OneLink and will make a civics team with our new software, which her students will then register at the beginning of the year and join her team so she can keep track of them and give them credit for their class. Her goal is to see the benefits of requiring service learning with this component so that she could maybe suggest a policy change with the district for a requirement with seniors to do some sort of community service. And our third component is the Student Volunteer Recognition Program, and this is something that we'll be piloting at AV High School this coming school year. It will include quarterly giveaways and recognitions throughout the year for students who are donating their time to the community. So essentially there will be 4 main winners at the AV High School, and then at the end of the school year we'd like to do a recognition ceremony. The goal of this portion of the project is to inspire students to give back to the community, as well as use the OneLink software to be able to measure the impact the school will have made by the end of the school year. Also this year, OneLink has received tremendous support from our own community and outside of our community. After presenting the plans of our initiative to Dr. Vieira, the superintendent of the Antelope Valley Unified High School District, we are receiving huge support and enthusiasm from them, and they have agreed to give OneLink a spot on the district's website as a resource for parents and students, and with information and a link. A national company called Verified Volunteers, which is a program that does background checks for nonprofits, has chosen to sponsor OneLink and pay the installation fee to put it on our software, so we'll be able to offer background checks to our local organizations. And this spring, we were invited to AVC's Leadership Luncheon and we were awarded the Community Partner Certificate of Appreciation. This was the first year that they awarded this, and we received it, which was really awesome. Now, as you can see with this slide, we have grown the amount of volunteers from 51 last August to 390 today, from 42 organizations to 68, and from 50 active opportunities that the organizations put on to 108. From the time of OneLink's beginning until now, there have been 127 logged hours, which adds to almost $3,000 OneLink has helped local organizations to save just by helping connect them to volunteers that are interested with working with them. And this number is expected to grow in a few weeks because OneLink is helping Antelope Valley High School with some campus cleanup days next week and the week after. I have also been asked to present at the Antelope Valley Unified High School District meeting in a couple of weeks to talk about OneLink and how the students and faculty can utilize it. I've also been invited to speak at the Freshman Orientation Day at Antelope Valley High School at the end of July. And the next Vistas that come in to help with OneLink will be presenting at Highland High School with some of the computer labs, because some teachers have reached out to us saying that they would like for the OneLink group to come and talk about the benefits of volunteering and to help them register onto OneLink. Also, Blessed Junipero Sarah Parish is a church in Lancaster and has also reached out to OneLink, and we're going to help them by logging an event for them. They want to do a cleanup day in October, which would incorporate the surrounding schools, community members, and the churches. I would like to thank the mayor and members of the City Council for your time this evening, as well as all the support that we've received this year for the OneLink program. I especially want to thank Kelvin Tainatongo and Mark Bazigian for their support and guidance. It has been much appreciated, and I'm really excited and thankful that I'll be able to stick around and help with next year's Vistas. I will now pass the mic to Kaylin Kim, Rodolfo Rodriguez, and Johansson Gatewood, who will be presenting their end-of-the-year report on the Mayor's Health and Wellness Council and Academy. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and the members of the City Council. Thank you all for having us here today. Today we are here to share about what we have been able to accomplish this past year. In December, we rebranded Lancaster Neighborhood Valorization Commission. We worked with Chairperson Stephen Derryberry to create focused identity and objective for Neighborhood Valorization Commission. We were able to develop a strong logo, mission, values, and identify distinguished community leaders to recommend for appointment for Mayor's Health and Wellness Council. Also in December, we created an approved Mayor's Health Academy. We collaborated with the Wellness Council to understand the city health profile, identify existing health resources, and established an evidence-based program that was supported by all the key stakeholders. The objective of our program is to empower 400 kindergartners to live healthy, sustainable lifestyles within our daily in-school program and working with 180 of those kindergartners during after-school program with their parents. By the beginning of this year, we have earned trust and participation from all key stakeholders. We have included all past and existing stakeholders in the community for input, needs, and goals as part of our due diligence. In addition, we have rebranded a wellness council and will be expanding to include new key stakeholders such as the school district leadership and local grocery stores, to name a few. In February of 2015, we delivered a cohesive televised presentation to you all about our newly developed program, and we received great support from all the key stakeholders. Now I introduce Rodolfo Rodriguez.
Hello, I'm Rodolfo, and I'm going to be talking about financial support that we've also received from investors and the community. We've actually amounted up to $80,000 as of confirmed by today. This is real time. We didn't get a chance to update it. We received a $15,000 grant from Kaiser Permanente today, about an hour ago. So with that, the Vistas and the Health and Wellness Council worked together to craft a 2-year sponsorship package, and we presented it and delivered it to a few key folks, and this includes Antelope Valley Hospital, Kaiser Permanente, High Desert Medical Group, and also folks with the City of Lancaster. And basically, each healthcare group will be adopting a school. The 3 schools that we're working with are in Lancaster School District, Sierra Elementary, Sunnydale Elementary, and Joshua Elementary School. In addition to, we've actually calculated additional support. We've received over $87,000 of in-kind services for our programs. And a lot of that comes from an AmeriCorps Vista grant that we've received to sponsor up to 3 full-time Mayor's Health and Wellness coordinators. We've also received about $2,000 in value space for the wellness homes to activate our after-school component of the Mayor's Health Academy by Antelope Valley Partners for Health. And we've also been we've received gracious support from the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health. They'll be providing us with up to $44,000 worth of research support for the IRB. We talked about it being evidence-based. So the Mayor's Health Academy also has a scientific arm to it, where we'll be working with folks from the scientific community and the medical community to make sure that the data's clean and that we're just going to have that seal. So this next slide talks about just building momentum and Toast of the Town. Most of you were there, and those of you who weren't, you missed out on an event. It happened on June 5th, and I worked closely with the Toast of the Town Planning Committee, which consists of a representative of Kaiser Permanente, Antelope Valley Hospital, and High Desert Medical Group, and inclusive of the city as well. And we had 131 attendees come and learn about the Mayor's Health and Wellness Council and the newly formed website. And after that, we were also published on the AV Press talking about the Mayor's Health Academy and the Mayor's Toast of the Town. And this event specifically really did raise a bar in health promoting events. For those of you that were there, and even mentioned in the newspaper, we're very careful in the way that we were thinking about promoting this event, from activating staircases in MOA to also the food that was served there, we worked with caterers to make sure that everything was healthy, and we also simplified and promoted the nutritional value of each appetizer. So we've set a really high bar in the way that events are delivered here in the Antelope Valley, and we're really proud of that. And now I'd like to introduce Johansson Gatewood.
On June 5 at Toast the Town, we launched the Mayor's Health and Wellness Council interactive website featuring our programs and goals in a community calendar and a community resource guide. In only just 30 days, we've registered over 120 community health and wellness related resources, promoted 9 unique health events, and have received over 2,300 page visits from viewers across 40 states in the U.S. This past June, we partnered with the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health to create measurable outcomes with the current IRB research standards for the Mayor's Health Academy. We hope to not only make the Mayor's Health Academy a sound research study, but we also hope to make it a future national case study publication within the next couple of years. Our 1 year of service to the City of Lancaster is coming to an end, and we are preparing for the next sets of vistas. We will be training 3 new vistas to come on board to the Mayor's Health and Wellness Council and Mayor's Health Academy. We're currently setting up the teacher trainings for the upcoming school year and will be coordinating the BMI screenings before the Mayor's Health Academy begins. The new vistas will also be attending the back-to-school barbecues at our adopted schools to get parents and kids excited about the Mayor's Health Academy. Other projects we will begin to work on is creating a healthy food committee to sponsor and support our snack program of the Mayor's Health Academy, and taking the next steps to getting our website completely translated into Spanish. This concludes our presentation for this evening, and on behalf of the Vistas, we would like to thank the City Council for your support and kindness this past year. We would also like to give special thanks to Kelvin Tainatongo and Mark Bozigian, who have guided us and mentored us this past year. We've had a great experience here at the City of Lancaster, and it will resonate with us as we move into the next steps of our lives. Thank you.
That's it? You think that was enough? You guys did an incredible job. I'm overwhelmed with what you accomplished. You took dreams that we've had for years and you executed, and that is remarkable. I wish I could do something that would be commensurate with what you've done for the city, but I can't. But I can give you each a $1,000 scholarship, and that's what we'll do. Because I'm assuming you guys are just too smart not to keep going to school. I mean, you guys are incredibly bright, but there's a lot of bright people out there. Few of them actually get things done, and you're able to do that, and that is a gift from God, and you should be really grateful for whatever you have that enables you to do that, because we certainly are that you have it. Thank you. The other thing is, if you're going to have a celebration, you should celebrate. So dinner on me and my wife, have Kelvin take them, and if you have a significant other, bring them with you. Have a good time, but no drinking, because we don't drink. Thanks. Stephen, great job. How could a guy who dresses like you be so effective?
I won't wear the bow tie next time.
I'm actually just jealous. What do you think, folks? Should I give it a try? Vote? No? Yes? Sandy, what do you think? No? Okay. Thank you. New business item 2. Do we have any speaker cards?
Motion to approve the memorandum of agreement, NB1.
I'll second that.
All in favor? It's unanimous. Didn't the AVTA people want to speak and give a speech? And no? Okay.
This one? We do have the executive director here.
That's what I thought. All right. this is a good one. The high-speed rail update.
We need to do MB2. That was MB1.
Yeah, right. Oh, you're right, NB2, sorry. That's the Antelope Valley Transit Authority.
There you go.
Okay. Any speaker cards?
Yes.
Barbara Boswell.
Good evening, Mayor Paris, Vice Mayor Christ, council members, and commissioners. This item is before you requesting approval to appropriate Proposition A funds to go to the Antelope Valley Transit Authority as subsidy for fares for Lancaster senior riders, as well as funds for fare subsidies for free rides for Palmdale senior riders. This item is before you as a result of council requesting us bring this to you through discussions that you had at the last meeting. We have available Proposition A funds that are eligible for the use, and our recommendation is that you appropriate the funds, and I'm happy to answer whatever questions you may have. $50,000 for each.
Did Palmdale agree to step up and pay for their seniors, or are we going to take care of their seniors too?
I have not heard myself from Palmdale. I don't know if...
You know?
Yes, it's in the paper.
It was in the paper?
Yes.
I should read that thing. Come on up and tell us what happened.
Sorry to interrupt.
Oh.
Hmm.
Yeah, the latest news.
I think they jumped in.
Well, this is not actually the latest news. This came out
Fran.
Friday, June the 26th. And I'll just read
Okay,
you,
Fran, hold on. Let's get it. All right, go ahead.
I'll just read you the part that's the most important to all of us. Okay, council members could not vote on the proposal because it did not appear on the agenda. They merely discussed the topic during council reports, but agreed to place it on the July 14 meeting agenda for further discussion and a vote. Chris said, after the meeting, that the tap cards for the free rides would also be made available to seniors in outlying parts of the Antelope Valley, including Lake Los Angeles and Leona. I don't know if I pronounced
Leona
it.
Valley.
Looking at Palmdale's budget, Chris said, the city has $2.3 million of unused Prop A money. Those funds could cover the cost of bus rides for seniors, according to Chris. Palmdale is offering a riders relief transportation program to the city, operated South Antelope Valley Emergency Service Facility. According to Mayor Jim Ledford, the program provides coupons for use on Antelope Valley Transit Authority buses. It's a discount card for lower income and is not just for seniors. That's my page 6. Let's see. I'm sorry, I got my pages mixed up here. Not strictly restricted to seniors, Lenford said. It's for all low-income residents. That extends to anybody. It's not limited to Palmdale residents. Someone in Little Rock can qualify, so can someone in Lancaster. It's income-based. Marvin approved a $50,000 grant for Lancaster seniors for the AV Air Quality Management District. It was approved to provide to both cities and the county. It requires matching funds, which I understand Prop 8 dollars can be used. By going to the Air Quality District, because it's a separate jurisdiction, they feel they can sidestep the legal requirement the seniors and the people with disabilities have to be offered the same program. Their action is based on the opinion of the Lancaster City Attorney. The Lancaster Attorney serves as a counsel for the AVTA. Now, Palmdale Attorney has yet to render his opinion. We're waiting for our attorney's opinion on the status of the Prop 8 funds and the legal permissibility.
Fran, are they going to pay for their seniors to get on the bus or not?
Okay. Well, evidently not, because he thanks you for putting up the money for them.
So Lancaster will pay for the Palmdale seniors, is that right?
Right. Palmdale's going to, you're going to put the money, the $50,000 for Palmdale's people to ride free, their senior people to ride free.
Okay.
They are not going to contribute.
When Fran's done, let me walk you through what's taken place.
I think I'm done.
Okay, go ahead.
Are you done, Fran?
I think so.
Okay. At the original AVTA board meeting, Palmdale voted to raise the rates on the disabled and the seniors. The City of Lancaster voted against that. So it passed because the county voted with the City of Palmdale. We went to the AVA QMD. We looked for funds for them to be able to subsidize our seniors. I think it's important for our seniors to be able to ride those buses for free. The county, through the federal subsidy programs, gets reimbursed for the disabled. So the disabled will effectively ride for free. So in essence, we were left with our seniors out there, and they had no subsidies and they could not ride for free. We put up the money through the AVA QMD, which is allowed under 2766 funds. Those funds were put in so that each jurisdiction could decide what they wanted to do. The City of Lancaster is going to support this program so their seniors can ride for free. Usually, I would not vote to give seniors, not seniors, but another city our money. But I'm afraid that if we do not authorize this program for Palmdale seniors to do it, that Palmdale will again vote it down, which they did at the AVA QMD meeting. So Palmdale voted against the seniors riding for free at the AVTA meeting and at the AVA QMD meeting. And they're saying that they can't afford it when they have unrestricted $2.3 million of Prop A money. We need to do this to protect all the seniors in the valley and to make sure our seniors are protected. What they came up with, which is a rider relief, which is a program from Metro, which requires all of the residents to come out and have a proof of income. So you'll have to take your taxes down, you'll have to do all that and show proof of income to receive a $10 voucher. So I think that's a little intrusive on our seniors. I don't believe it's right. That program is allowed for everybody, not just seniors. And it is not for them to ride for free. It is a discount coupon. So that's what they're proposing that we do. I think it's important. I think the AVTA board is responsive to this, and this allows us to do it. It's legal because it's a contract. It goes through the City of Lancaster, through the AVA QMD, to the AVTA, which bypasses the need. So it's a contract that we have with them. So it's perfectly legal, and I think that it's important that we take care of virtually all the seniors in the valley. But I think that we need to do this. Otherwise, Palmdale will probably vote against it.
Well, there's 4 seniors in Palmdale we ought to exclude. Isn't that their council? Well, never mind. You're right. They would get on the bus, come to Lancaster, and be stuck here, right? Okay. Is there a speaker card?
Michael.
Can I ask a quick question then? Am I understanding this?
Come on back up, Fran.
So are you saying that all low income and seniors are going to get this $10 card?
No, it's a lawyer, Fran, it's a lawyer's trick. You know, nobody's going to go down there and show all their income and all the stuff to be able to get the card. It's a scam. That's why we're going to do it. You show your ID, you get on the bus, right?
Correct.
Now, the real reason we're doing it is Marvin wants to ride the bus for free.
Well, but we
he's crossed that bridge a couple of years back, didn't he, on that senior side?
No, I'm not as old as you two.
Oh.
So on your
That is true. Okay.
So on your agenda were recommendations. So we are still going to put in our monies as far as Lancaster goes. Am I reading that correctly?
Well, I think we're going to pay for both Palmdale and Lancaster, and you know, I just can't help but play with it for a while. But yeah, we're going to. I honestly think that seniors need transportation.
That's right.
And nobody's going to get on that bus who doesn't need it. And you know, if we got federal funding available, why wouldn't we do this? And why wouldn't we do it for Palmdale? Other than it just kind of sticks in my craw that we have to.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Now, one more thing, if I may mention. Now, this monies that we're putting up, or you're putting up.
No, we're putting. Now, make no mistake. We're putting it up, meaning the whole city. It's
Now,
the
is that
city's
for
money.
just a 2-year program, or is it? Are we going to have to go through this again in 2 years?
It's a 1-year program.
It's a 1-year program?
Well, the seniors in Palmdale might get a new council, and then Palmdale will pay for it themselves.
Yeah. Thank you very, very much. God bless you.
Okay, Michael Reeves. Now, Michael, you have to be in favor of this. I mean, seriously, Mike.
Thank you.
It's 115 degrees in the summer. You really think seniors should be walking?
No, I want seniors to have shelters and bus benches, which the city of Lancaster is going to
Why would they need a bus bench if we don't let them ride for free?
Right. Well, thank
Michael,
God for...
Michael, just so you'll know that with that comment, we did put in $700,000 worth of bids that went out for those shelters.
That's wonderful. I think that's very important. I wanted to make a comment about, as you know, Chairman of the AVTA Board, Vice Mayor Chris, I did speak at the last meeting, and I explained to the board why I thought that they had the 1% deficit in their funds, and that was because they gave a break to the commuters going down below. And then, according to the AVTA representative, they did not know who authorized that discount for the bus riders to go down below, so they left it intact. Can you imagine? They left it intact. They didn't know who put it in. They said that staff had left the AVTA, so we left this discount for the people to ride down below, and so we lost money. And I pointed out to the board that the people down below are compensated by the South Coast Air Quality Management District for their bus passes. So these people got money from the Air Quality Management through their employee for their bus passes, and the AVTA gave them a discount. So they had a free ride for a long time. And remember, they gave a presentation at that last meeting where they showed one of the biggest money makers for the AVTA happened to be the commuter lines. So they cut their own throat by giving the discount and letting it ride. Can you imagine somebody in Lancaster letting some situation arise like that and not trying to find out who gave a discount to all these people? It's crazy. My concern is, in here it says that it's dependent on matching funds. Now, I take it what you just said, that we're going to go ahead and foot the bill for the whole thing. Okay, that's fine. If that's the way it's going to be, we'll give free bus passes to the seniors and disabled, etc. But, you know, this thing gets complicated with tap cards and all this stuff. I rode the bus for 40 years in Los Angeles across the town. All you had to do, you bought a bus pass, And if you're qualified, you got a reduced bus pass. If you lost the bus pass, tough luck. Very simple. You just showed the bus pass. We don't need tap cards. We don't need anything. We need just simple bus pass for the people up here. Make it simple and not complicated. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Mayor Paris, before we call for the question, I want to make sure that everybody understands historically, from a standpoint of seniors, the city of Lancaster has always supported the seniors. And it's unfortunate that we have to step up and take on now the responsibility for everybody in the Antelope Valley. But it looks like that's what we're voting on tonight. I would ask one thing. Maybe we ought to put on the buses to the seniors saying, courtesy of the city of Lancaster, you get to ride free. Maybe
No, the signage on the buses is already taken up. I'm sorry.
Darn. I just thought I'd sneak that in there, just so that the seniors that are, obviously the seniors here in Lancaster should clearly understand that we've supported that, and we look for creative ways to be able to continue that. And so we worked it out between the AQMD and AVTA, so I feel comfortable with that. And with so, I'm going to make a motion for the recommendation.
I would add one other thing on that, though, too. Fran, about a month ago, you couldn't have said it better regarding seniors having a tough enough time regarding buying a loaf of bread. Here in the city of Lancaster, we want you all to know that seniors matter to us. Very important to us, so thank you.
I'll second Mr. Mann's motion.
Now, as one of those seniors, I can tell you we probably shouldn't be eating bread, but that's what my wife tells me. All right. All right, we got, one of the things that buses, and correct me if I'm wrong, you know more about busing than anybody I know, is we got all this funding. We have to have them. But the ridership and the cost effectiveness of these buses is ludicrous. I mean, it's absolutely ludicrous. But we're in a market with buses, and we got to figure out a way to utilize them the best we can. I think doing the seniors is a perfect way to do that. The next step, though, is why do all these churches have busing programs on Sunday when we have municipal buses that are sitting idle? I mean, why isn't it we're not running buses into the community to the churches? I don't understand it. I mean, we have empty buses.
We are working on that. They've been given direction that the importance is education, health, because we want them to be able to go get an education. We want them to be able to receive health care, and we want them to be able to go to a faith base. Those are our things that we're working on to make that all happen. And part of this other thing is, so you mentioned it, that we're working on, is to work with the Antelope Valley College to actually make a straight line from the city of Palmdale to the ABC main campus. Right now, it takes 3 transfers to get there, so it costs that student probably $12 a day to ride the bus to transfer, back and forth from those 2 campuses. So we're going to make a straight shot, and then they'll be able to get a relief coupon or a rider relief coupon. That's what they're made for, and so we'll be able to do a lot of good things happening in that AVTA.
Good. Thank you. Okay. We have a motion and a second. All we got to do is vote. Oh, let's vote. It's unanimous. Hey, Mom, quiet down. This is a respectable meeting here. All right. In B3, high-speed rail. Is it true that if that high-speed rail comes through, one of the finest high schools in America will have to be torn down?
I honestly don't know the answer to that question.
That's true, isn't it?
Wait, Palmdale High School?
No.
Oh.
No, but close.
No, they've always been second.
All right. RX Paris High School.
Oh.
This was just a Palmdale Council plot to get rid of that school.
Highly extensive, if that's
$8 billion.
the case. Good evening, Mayor Paris and members of the City Council.
I never should have sued the governor.
With that, I'm going to take a few minutes and try to update you on the status and the planning process for the proposed California high-speed rail project, which, if constructed, would have an alignment that would travel through the city of Lancaster. The state, in its efforts to plan this fairly massive project, has broken that down into several different segments, and our segment, as shown on the map provided by the High Speed Rail Authority, is the Bakersfield to Palmdale segment, as they identify it. The state high-speed rail staff, as well as their consultants, have been in contact with city staff regarding their planning and environmental effort for this proposed section. As you can see, out of Bakersfield, there are a couple of different routes that would ultimately end up at the north end of the city of Lancaster. From that point, at that north side of our city, the state has identified several different conceptual alignments that are going to be evaluated as part of the environmental process. Now, that's something that they're required to do, and I'd like to emphasize that they have not, at this point, identified either a preferred option or indicated that any of these is any better than any of the others. So we are expecting that they will, in fact, ultimately provide a fair and balanced evaluation of the potential effects of those. Now, in their discussions with us at a staff level, our review of these alignments to this point has really centered on what the potential effects of each one could be on the city and the types of mitigation and improvements or modifications that would be necessary with each of their proposed options. Our goal, as we have clearly stated to the high-speed rail staff, is to minimize the adverse effects of whichever conceptual alignment is ultimately chosen, and that mitigation or physical change we expect that the state is going to pay the costs of. It's not going to come out of our pockets. It's not going to be something that we're going to have to do. We expect that they are going to bear the full and complete cost of that. The reason that we are coming to you at this point is that the state has told us that they have reached a point in this process where they, probably starting in the fall, are going to begin their outreach effort to stakeholders within the community. And that outreach is going to start discussing these potential conceptual alignments. The draft environmental impact report that they are going to prepare, they are expecting to release in the fall of 2016. So they are a little bit over a year away from doing that. From a city standpoint, we really need to kind of begin the process now of identifying for them who we think the key stakeholders are in our community, and as well, we need to continue our efforts to understand what each of these conceptual alignments could do and to really begin to address what the effects of them could be and how we would expect the state to mitigate those efforts. And we think it's very important to provide that feedback to them. So that's really an update on where they're at in their process. I know that they're in the news a lot about different things, but they are very, very close to that kind of public outreach and happening within our area. So be happy to answer any questions I'm able to. I probably can't answer the question you asked at the beginning, but anything that
you don't think it's the finest high school in the valley?
I thought the question revolved around whether it would continue to exist with any of their alignments. So,
do you know whether the alignment's going to be on the west side of the current tracks or the east side?
Actually, they have alignment concepts that are on either side of it. They are showing alignments that are on the east side, and they are also showing alignment concepts that are on the west side.
And the overpasses, on each one of the overpasses, will it be on a raised level or will it be surface level?
As far as the high-speed rail itself, all of the concepts that they have shown us to this point are at grade in our city, which means that you would have to build overpasses over it unless there are specific instances where we can do an underpass, and we have discussed that with them in some locations.
We received blueprints probably 2 years ago of their proposal, and it shows that their proposal is for it to come on the west side of the tracks, and it will take out virtually all the businesses along Sierra Highway.
If they were to choose ultimately an alignment on the west side of the current tracks, yes, there would be quite an effect along that west side of Sierra Highway. I will tell you that in their discussions with us, they have indicated that their relationship and their discussion with the Union Pacific Railroad apparently has a great deal of weight on what they will ultimately select and do.
And what about the overpass effects on all the businesses on the streets on the west or east side that are within, say, 600 feet of the tracks?
Yes, it would have an effect on that. At this point, we don't exactly know the scope and scale of that, and of course it depends to some extent on which of those alignments they ultimately choose. But yes, where they have to raise a street, cross existing railroad tracks as well as the high-speed rail alignment, there are going to be effects on either end of.
So what's the effect of our efforts to revitalize downtown in regards to the boulevard if this goes through?
We have informed them that the effect on the very downtown area is one of our primary concerns. And we expect to have a very fine-grained look at whatever their alignments would do in that.
You know, the House Majority Leader, Kevin McCarthy, represents this area, and he says this is the stupidest idea anybody's come up with because it's never going to get funded to have a complete line, right? Isn't that where they're at?
I believe those opinions have been expressed, yes.
It's also the opinion of our state senator, I believe, that this is just a ridiculous boondoggle. So why would we help these fools in any way, shape, or form? Cut our community in half. It's going to take years before it's actually operational. I mean, imagine the construction that's going to take place, how many businesses go under, what it does to the downtown disruption. Why aren't we opposing this with everything we have? Now, on top of that, this is 1980 technology. That's all it is 1980 technology. You got Elon Musk having an alternative, cheaper, more efficient, faster transportation plan that they're testing next year. And if he's right, it's going to totally antiquate this. Doesn't it make sense to wait a year? I mean, So what do we have to do to put everything we can do to resist this? Because, I mean, even though we're probably going to lose the battle, why are we rolling over playing dead while they trounce on our community?
Well, I think we can certainly resist, and the council can take a position against high-speed rail. And, you know, personal opinion, if there's no money there, it's never going to go. However, as they're going forward, they are going to go forward with an environmental document because they're required as such. So our view is we might as well be participating in finding out what the mitigations are there, and we can oppose it at that point, either officially through the environmental document or in other ways.
But we've seen environmental documents that were totally fraudulent. I mean, we just saw one on the power plant, didn't we? I mean, totally fraudulent. What are we doing to make certain that doesn't happen with this?
Yes, I think we have to be vigilant about the review of it from our standpoint. And Mayor Paris, let me just tell you from my standpoint, I share a lot of your concerns about the project in and of itself. And in fact, people I've talked with said, what do you think about it? I said, you know, I'm not a person personally who is really convinced it's a great idea. But I would be the stupidest person in the world to ignore it and let happen what may happen. I look at this project potentially having the same kind of effects in places that the freeway system had in the 1950s and the 1960s when it was just slammed through communities. And the effects of that, as you're well aware, have been devastating for decades in places where it went. I think that we have to be vigilant. We have to know what we want as a city. And ultimately, if opposing it is the best choice that the council thinks we have, then I think you as a council have the obligation and the ability to do that.
Can I make that motion today?
We are not agendized for action on this. This is an update, but we can bring that back at the next council meeting for sure.
Thank you. Because you're going to be busy. You're the one that's going to have to oppose this. All right?
Will do.
Am I misstating anybody's?
We can certainly do it by a consensus right now, can't we?
No, we cannot reach a consensus on an item that's not before you for action. It can come back to you at the next council meeting.
And then they're always free to come and stand where you are and give their presentation to us.
Yes, they are.
Mr. Mayor, I do have a question, if I may. Do we have any indication of frequency of trains coming through? And the reason why I asked this question is because as you said, all the passes are at grade. So essentially, the high-speed train becomes a slow-speed train because of all the surface streets that it has to cross.
Yeah, there would be no surface street crossings of this facility. Anything that crosses it would have to be grade separated. They indicated to us at one point that you could have service every 5 to 10 minutes, depending on demand and.
Every 5 to 10 minutes, a very high-speed train causing vibration.
You should see these things in China.
Coming through.
You should see these things in China. You're not talking about a train station. You're talking about an airport facility. It looks just like you're walking into the airport. You know, the shops, everything. It's LAX is what's going to be in Palmdale. The effect on the community is huge. Now, some people might want that. Other people may not. But I certainly don't want them stepping on Lancaster to get it. How about this? How about tell them it's okay with us if they do it all underground?
I'll pass that along.
Thanks. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Okay.
Motion to receive and file.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Say it.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. California Community Foundation Grant Award, Rhonda Perez. This has to be good.
It is good. It's great. Good evening, Council, Mayor Paris, Vice Mayor Christ, and Commissioners. I'm before you tonight to brief you on a grant that we received from the California Community Foundation. Actually, the Lancaster Museum and Public Art Foundation received it. It is for $80,000. I'm pleased to report that we only requested $75,000, but they believe in what we're doing so much that we got $80,000, and they might have had a few dollars left over. This is actually attributable to the great work that you support so much and that Andy and Angela Riley, Andy Campagnoni, our curator, and Angela Riley are doing over at the museum. The grant is very specific in what it requests of us and what we wrote it for, and it's to do staff and board development and training, as well as strategic plan development, community outreach, and engagement. Measurable objectives include increasing the number of underserved youth engaged in the arts in our community, conducting an in-depth organizational analysis of MOA as we seek out to be accredited here in the next 24 to 36 months, and completing a board assessment of skills and staff training that will allow us to receive that accreditation from the NEA. So expected outcomes specifically are to increase that participation of arts in our community-wide, not just in Lancaster, but in the surrounding area as well, and broadening our business and operational capacity at the facility. So we've done a lot of great work with the NEA as well as Otis College of Design. We've gotten a couple of grants through them, which really opened the door to the California Community Foundation opportunity, and we're very excited to receive it.
Thank you. Any questions? Good. Thank you, Rhonda.
Motion to receive and file.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Council reports. Mr. Mann.
I have nothing new to report for District 14, other than we're headed towards that tax reduction in the fall, so nothing new other than that.
Well, does
Still gets to talk.
he still gets to talk? You still want to talk? There's no report?
Mayor Paris, council, staff, ladies and gentlemen. Today I got a notice from my mortgage company. I have to pay more for the escrow, thanks to the 14th District Sanitation District. I went to the last meeting of the Sanitation District, and I noticed that our budget for our sanitation district is the highest in the county. Is that correct, Councilman Mann? $55 million. And it's because of the environment,
Mr. Reeves,
et cetera.
you know you're not supposed to be asking questions of the council when you
Okay.
give your comments, all right? It's not a time to cross-examine us.
Okay.
Thank you.
But the point is that we have to do something to reduce the debt on the homeowners in this community. I know other people are suffering on their property tax bills because of this 14th Sanitation District. And on a previous meeting, it was mentioned that the Los Angeles Sanitation District, for the whole county, they have billions of dollars in reserve, et cetera. Now, each sanitation district is separate. We can't tap into that billions of dollars that the county has. We have to take care of our own district. And that means we really have to get after those people to refinance those bonds and reduce it. I know that Councilman Mann has been very diligent, and he got a reduction for the next 3 years, $14, and I appreciate it. You know, I'm tired of it going up every year. But we can do better, and I hope we can do better to reduce this burden on the taxpayers, because it is a tremendous burden, especially for senior citizens.
Michael, you're aware that the city of Lancaster has always opposed any rate increases that the district had, correct?
Yes, I've gone to meetings where the representative from Palmdale supported increases, and the representative...
And who was that?
Mayor Ledford. He supported the increases, and then Chairman Smith opposed it and stopped it. And I know that Councilman Mann, the new chair of the district, has done what he could. So Lancaster's done what they could, you know, to stop it like that. But we need to see if we can refinance those bonds some more. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Parrish, just for the record, we've refinanced the bonds, so I'm not quite for sure what he was referring to. So that'll take effect, that remortgage of the bond will take effect in the fall. So just want to make sure that we get the record straight. So
Thank you. Vice Mayor Christ.
AVTA. Len, come on up. Good things happening at the AVTA. This is our new executive director, Len Engel. He is on board, and he is totally on board with going electric. Would you like to explain to everybody what took place as far as our grants?
We applied for a grant through California State Transportation Agency, a total project amount of $39 million.
Give him a raise. Wow.
Well, I was on the job for 4 days, so, you know. So we're gonna be able to get 13 60-foot Lancasters and 16 45-foot commuters that'll go down below. In a process of converting completely to 100% electric on our fleet. We've just heard about a week ago that we got another grant from the Metro Call for Projects. We'll get 3 more 40-footers on that program. So we're really starting to move I was in Washington yesterday. We met with the number 2 person at the Federal Transit Administration to see if we can short circuit the procurement process. Typically, we'd have to go out with an RFP to do a competitive procurement. The only problem with that for us is that no one else but BYD builds a 60-foot electric bus, and no one else but BYD builds a 40-foot commuter. So we're asking for a sole source authority, and then we'll go back to the state with that as well and try to move that process through. We expect the first buses here in June next year. We're investing $3.4 million in infrastructure at our facility, so we'll be able to charge up to 80 bus units. And the 60-footers are going to take about 1.5 times the amount of the 40-footers. So, but we'll be able to. We'll have 12,500 volts at our facility. We'll be able to, because we're a charter member of Lancaster Choice Energy, we'll be able to allocate energy we produce at our facility directly to our chargers at Lancaster City Park. And to go back to a comment you made just a few minutes ago, our older diesel buses are taking $1.54 per mile to maintain. The new electric buses are at 35 cents. That's with energy and the diesel comparison.
So then you had a lot of discussion in prior meetings at the AVTA in regards to how we're going to afford this to go electric, because the electric buses initially are more expensive. How's that working out for you?
We had programmed, as I got more involved starting in February, we had programmed that we figured we'd be $3 million short over a 5-year capital improvement budget. We received $24.4 million from the state of California, so we're $21 million to the good. We'll be fine.
Plus they gave us the ability to put in all the infrastructure to charge them.
Right.
This is so cool. I mean, think about this. We get BYD to come, hire a bunch of people. Then we get free buses. Free buses. These things are $1.5 million each.
Excuse me, they're not that much.
The 60-footer?
Only 1.2.
The 60-footer is 1.2?
Yeah. So we saved $300,000 right there.
See, that's because...
I've been on the job for a month now, so...
And the 60-footer was invented and developed, and that's why they called it the Lancaster here in Lancaster. That is not a Chinese product. That is a Lancaster product. This is just really cool. I mean...
Designed and built here, and now they're building...
And now if we could just figure out a way to get people to use the buses, everything would be...
We need the 60-footers on Route 1, which is basically 10th Street West, because we have standing room only. So we need the 60-footers on Route 1.
And the 60-footers hold how many people compared to the 40-footer?
120 with standees versus 40, 45.
So there's a major difference.
Right.
And the MTA also gave us a grant?
That'll buy another 3 40-foot buses.
So in total we'll get 33?
32.
How many do we need?
We need 80, sir.
You got your work cut out for you.
And I'll be here for the next Lancaster election. Thank you.
Thank you, Len. It's
what did he mean by that?
We never know what Len means half the time. We just laugh at him.
Thank you. Anything?
No, it's just we also met with the NCTC and looked at the different grants that the county is looking to push another sales tax onto us, like the Measure R. I don't think it went over well in the NCTC meeting. We don't receive our fair share. We don't get, we are the fastest growing area in LA County. We are producing, we're taking all of the growth, we're doing all of that, and we're not receiving the money in order to do all that. It's being placed upon Palmdale and Santa Clarita and the city of Lancaster to meet all those needs. So we had a very contentious meeting with Supervisor Antonovich and Chair Ara. Is it
Or Najarian.
Najarian. So both of those were there. It was a very good meeting. And
So how did Najarian play out in all this? Was he supportive of us or not?
Absolutely, absolutely. He is very supportive of us, and the supervisor was too. And they were explaining to us that we need to get to be more vocal, like we've become. And
Which brings me to Lynn. You got these 40-foot buses. How do we fill them with people to take them to the Board of Supervisors meeting and raise hell? Fran, could you fill it?
I went there this morning to talk about that too.
I mean, could we fill them from the senior center? They get to ride for free.
What an idea. What an idea.
I'm serious. Isn't there some way we could do some community, I mean, we could figure this out.
Uh-oh. We could figure it out, as long as we'd have to charge some sort of fare and post a schedule.
Not to the seniors.
To get around federal regulations, but as long
Okay.
as we had a fare posted,
And if we had a party afterwards, free pizza, what do you think?
I had one of our board members shake her finger at me a couple of months ago, and it's had a great effect on my attitude towards saying yes to board members.
You mean a supervisor or a...
No, it was one of the board members.
Who?
Ms. Johnson. I got scolded pretty well, so my whole attitude has changed.
Oh. I thought I was the only one that abused people. Well, thanks, Lynn. You're doing a great job. I'm really thrilled. But I'm serious about loading those buses and taking them to the supervisors. I mean, they honestly don't know that we're up here. They none of them have been here except Mike Antonovich. You invite them, they don't come. I mean, they really would prefer that we didn't exist except for to take all their problems. But if, I mean, they're like most politicians. They're scared of their own shadows. You bring 100 people down there, everything changes.
when we actually went to the first NCTC meetings 3 or 4 years ago, they didn't even have Lancaster or Palmdale on their maps as they were showing us the representation. So we didn't even make their maps.
I told you, they do not want us to exist. How are we coming with that, moving it to 7 Board of Supervisors instead of 5?
It's coming.
Where we're at with that, I think it's already made it through committee.
Is it going to pass?
Good question. We do have a Democratic state of California. We will find out. I know SB 49 passed. I'm not too sure where we are on that bill, but I'll find out and let you know.
Put it on the agenda for the city to support that and, flood the people voting on it with letters. All right. Thank you. Council reports, anybody?
That was it.
Criminal justice?
I do, sir. Some really exciting things happening. We got a really good brief from the Deputy District Attorney saying that there's plans at the county level to bring 3 more courtrooms to Lancaster and Palmdale, to Lancaster. 2 in 16, 1 in 17. It's not definitive, it's not finalized, but we're getting some attention from that vein. So also
That is pretty huge, actually.
yes, and one of those courts will be a juvenile court. The Business Watch community is starting up a new program to provide online reporting of shoplifting. And so the pilot area will be the J and 20th Walmart around in that business district. And then after seeing how that goes, hopefully it'll expand out throughout the city. Vice Mayor Christ actually informed us that he put invites out to Senator Runner's district office as well as Assemblyman Lackey's office to participate in the criminal justice meeting. So we're looking forward to hosting them. The teen court. The teen court is doing phenomenally well according to public safety, and there's actually plans to expand to more high schools and also bring the youth court and the criminal the teen court together as one unit. So that's really gaining some traction and doing good things. So,
Captain Nelson, what's your opinion of that youth court? Does it work? Is it effective?
I think overall it's been very effective. This is what I've seen as far as the city.
Thank you.
that's all for me.
Great, thank you. Captain, I did attend Miss Bell's funeral. She was the lady that was murdered by the foster kid that had run away. Is there an investigation of the Children's Services people as to whether or not that was handled appropriately? How long he was out? I mean, was he being looked for? Why was he there? I mean, and if there is, I'd like to see that report. I mean, here they have a disturbed child. They know he's a disturbed child. He's out. He leaves their custody, and he murders a 86-year-old woman because of all of that. And you know, it's certainly reprehensible what the juvenile did. But where were the people who were watching him? And why aren't I reading anything about investigating why this was allowed to occur? I mean, if we dotted the I's and crossed the T's, we should know that. But if somebody dropped the ball, I want to know that too. Could you? Thank you.
Obviously, the homicide investigation is being handled by the Homicide Bureau. Whether or not that is expanded to its placement.
You know, it concerns me that they just do, you know, a runaway report and leave it at that. You know, they should be actively looking for these kids, not throw it at the sheriff's department to do. They should be doing it. And if they're not doing it, I think we should know that, especially in light of the consequences of them not doing anything, which is, I suspect, what we're going to find. So if you could work out with the city manager a date when that could come back to us, and perhaps the local newspaper would look into that also. This was a murder that didn't need to happen. Thank you. Oh, I forgot planning. Do you have any plans?
You let Mr. Ludicky talk as long as he wanted. Gee.
Under the train, I might think.
That's right. Well, please don't throw me under the train. I've had some interesting experiences with those folks, those consultants, working with a client of mine in the Acton Agua Dulce Unified School District.
They're not going to tear that school down too, are they?
Listen, we're just trying to get it finished, the construction finished by the 9th of September so we can house children. So I hope not. But the process is, the environmental process is certainly a challenge. And listening to Mr. Ludicky tonight, I would expect that the commission is going to take up some public hearings on the matter and give the community an opportunity to discuss their concerns so we can formulate a position from the commission and maybe make a recommendation to the council in that regard. It'll be a long process, but you know, we spend a lot of time on environmental reviews, so we look forward to working on that. And along those lines, last night was our staff briefing in advance of our meeting next Monday night. We have an extensive agenda, including a public hearing on an environmental impact report on a 100 megawatt project in the former Larwin track. And we're also considering a conditional use permit this Monday night for another 150 megawatt project on about a little over 1,100 acres on the west side, which includes zone changes, conditional use permits, and general plan amendments, which we'll consider and make a recommendation to the council.
Do they have off-takers for this?
I beg your pardon?
We got customers for this?
Do we, what, I'm sorry?
Do they have customers for the power?
I believe so, yes. It
Yeah,
goes into the
they would
grid.
very likely not be building it and financing it unless they already had a power purchase agreement or some
Right.
Okay.
customer.
Yeah, it's in segments, so that
It's
broken down.
250,000. Wow.
Yeah, it's broken down into segments, so they can finance individual projects out of the whole. So, we also heard had an extensive report, which we don't often hear on projects, housing projects, apartment projects, which will be coming to you in August, which was very interesting, and they were very receptive to our individual comments. We have some routine matters, 4 additional track maps to consider for extension, as well as 2 new maps for extension. Plus, we'll be taking up staff or commission review of the proposed alcohol beverage control changes to your current ordinance, possibly, and we'll be holding public hearings on that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Allison, can we do a special tax on alcohol that comes to the city like we do a bed tax on the hotels?
I'll look into it.
Thank you. Good. Council, anything? On the apartments, Mr. Ludicky, I would like to be briefed on that.
Certainly.
Thank you. Preferably before the Planning Commission acts.
Okay. The project itself, they don't have any approval authority over, but there are some other financing issues that the applicant will be in front of the council on in about a month.
Thank you.
The project will be asked for a TEFRA hearing for that. We've been working with the applicant to make sure that the Sheriff's Department is fully engaged in all of those things, and we will set up a briefing for you as well.
Where are they talking about doing it?
It's out, go ahead.
Yeah, the site is actually on the north side of the Veterans Home, out 30th Street West, north of Avenue I.
To the applicant's credit, they built some of these in Spokane and other areas, and they've done a breakdown of market rates and stuff, so I'm not typically a fan, but this is an operation, an outfit that's actually run good complexes before.
What about the operating cost of, it is relatively on the outskirts? I mean, to provide services, are we going to have an offset?
We will have to look into that and see what fees would be charged and such. We have a fee schedule so that theoretically those fees should cover the costs, but
So we
sometimes
haven't
they don't.
we have not adjusted it yet for distance from the core, have we?
There's some, because of the urban structures program, there is some offset because of the distance, but we need to really look at what services will specifically be required out there, and then we will do that.
Okay, thank you.
Primarily, the infrastructure is there. Streets are there, the utilities are there, so.
No, what I'm thinking is because when we have to take sheriffs and sheriffs and fire department away from the core, you're lowering the enforcement we have where the population is. And so I just want to make certain we're looking at that now, where in the past we haven't. Okay?
But it generates housing and potential taxpayer revenue, and which supports those.
You're in that position because you are pretty much diametrically opposed to me, and it kind of creates a balance in the city.
I am?
You realtors are all alike. I meant that in a loving way.
Sure. I think so.
Oh, okay.
I'm writing it down as well.
City manager.
One announcement, and we have 3 videos because we've had quite a busy week for three events, so I apologize, but I think it's well worth it.
Wait a minute. Before you do that, I don't want to skip over me because I want to ask you about some things, okay?
Can we skip over that part or no?
No, you can't skip
Okay.
over that part. The Thursday concert thing we do, why aren't we doing that on weekends?
We've done it because it's in conjunction with the farmers market, and the businesses down there already have pretty good Fridays and Saturdays. Thursday is a difference in some of those of making them profitable and not, like the yogurt store and people like that. So it extends a weekend one more day for the businesses.
Okay. Where's Rhonda? It just occurs to me that during the summer, we should be having more youth-oriented things on the boulevard. Could you, on the weekends, could you focus some attention on that?
We can look into
See what we can come up with?
Sure.
Okay. We need, I mean, I know it's expensive, and I know it takes a lot of staff time, and it's difficult, but we need to get more people down there.
We will look at that.
Okay.
I think one of the things, really candidly, we're trying to do is the Boulevard Association has a fair amount of a budget, and we're trying to work with them on those kinds of things, so work with the business owners to get more people down there.
When we did the Cedar Street complex, one of the, the vision I had for that was that on Saturdays, that would be a place for teenagers. And I'm not seeing that. And I know that that's problematic, but I want to do it anyway. We need to, the whole idea was to get a lot more activity and a lot more excitement down there. And if we don't have events for them, we're not going to get it. And I know how much the sheriff's department loves that. So, but so far we haven't had any problems, have we, on the events? All right. It also might relieve some of the party problems we're having during the summer. You know, if we could centralize it, bring them to us, we don't have to go searching for them. All right?
Okay.
Thank you. All right, back to you.
Okay. We did, as AVTA, the city was successful in the MTA call for projects, the staff recommendation, which will be confirmed by the board in September, hopefully. The city was awarded $5.3 million as a match towards infrastructure at Medical Main Street, near the hospital, which is great, and another $500,000 to upgrade a lot of our traffic system control room and such. So it was a pretty good haul for the city, and we'll be supporting that at the MTA board with our reps. And once we get that, that's a huge jump start towards Medical Main Street. We will have to sign agreements, move the money up, et cetera. So that was good news as well, too.
Is the change in the hospital administration going to affect Medical Main Street?
From the people that are still there that I've talked to, absolutely not. It's become, and the board, it's important to the board, too, and I've spoken to board members directly. I think absolutely not. It's one of the ways that they see as their next generation, if you will.
Okay. Now, $5 million is really cool, but Len, could you help them out?
You're doing a great job.
Thank you, Len. And then we have 3 videos. We had quite a busy and somewhat tiring for staff and all involved last 3 or 4 weeks on events, but we had a softball tournament 2 in a row after hosting Thunder and Lot. So you'll see a video on the softball tournament B level that we hosted this weekend, then a video on 4th of July, and then a video on Thunder on the Lot. So if you're up for all 3 of those, we'll go for it.
Wait a minute. Let's take 5 minutes first.
Okay.
All right. Let people stand up and move. We've been sitting for too long.
All right. Thank you.
That's bullshit.
What?
That's not it.
Sheldon, when you're ready, bud. I'm on my way. Okay.
Really? Really? Who are they? Okay. Back in session. What do we got?
3 videos.
Okay, let's go.
We're here at Lancaster City Park where this weekend more than 130 teams are competing in the Girls B State Championships.
The fields are great. We love all the trees. It does get hot out here, but the trees make it a big difference, and we keep coming out here. We have 22 fields going this weekend between Lancaster and Palmdale, and we just keep coming. We have district tournaments. I have 8 district commissioners, and the teams will compete within their local area in order to earn a spot to come here. So we have a C-level ball, which is the one level below this, and so they qualify to come here last weekend, and this is our B level ball, and they qualify to go here. I think life lessons are teamwork, love of the game, and just friendships, lifetime friendships. I think this is the most important thing you can teach your kids.
This is throughout all of Southern California for this tournament. We have Mission Viejo, Apple Valley, anywhere from mid-California all the way down. This is actually the B-State Championship, and this is kind of our prime tournament of the year. We're last weekend brought in about 90 teams. This one will bring in about 145 to 150 teams. So they'll play throughout the Antelope Valley at multiple facilities, obviously accommodating more than just our 8 fields here at the Lancaster City Park. But tonight is our actually opening ceremonies where we'll get a grasp of what 150 teams will look like as opposed to 90 from last week. Our economy with anywhere between 5,000 to 6,000 people throughout the weekend, staying at hotels, eating at our local restaurants, getting gas, shopping at our local shopping centers, just having good quality time, I can generate anywhere from $1 to $2 million.
By coming out here, they learn a lot of teamwork. They learn how to not quit, keep playing. This is the good competition out here, so they got to fight hard.
The families are very appreciative to the city of Lancaster. We've been here 3 years in a row with my oldest daughter and now with our youngest daughter, and Lancaster just rocks. We are very excited to be at this Big 8 complex, and they're amazing fields, and thank you to the city of Lancaster for always hosting states for us.
It's a good weekend to be out here, and if you guys aren't out here this weekend, there's plenty of other tournaments to come about.
Good production. Who did that?
All 3 of these are done in-house by our communications staff. They do a good job. They have the requisite Joe Cabral 30 seconds in each one of them.
That didn't escape our notice.
It's a great turnout so far for the 4th of July celebration at the Antelope Valley Fairgrounds. We're ready for some bull riding, live performances, and fireworks later on tonight.
See tonight, you can see how many thousands of people are out here, and
And then when we hollered out to the stands and asked who was all representative, whether it was Little Rock, Palmdale, Lancaster, everybody was yelling and hollering. And you can really tell just what a great event. And I think, again, this July 4th event is one of our best events of the year. I think sometimes we take things for granted, but it's this time of year that maybe we stop and think about the importance of 4th of July and the independence that we have, and what's America about.
Everybody's here tonight having an awesome, awesome time, and it's a way to just kind of have a bit of camaraderie and show our spirit for the cities that we live within. My daughter said it this morning. She talked about freedom and patriotism, and to be proud to be here. There's so many people that are here that have come from other countries that have come here really for opportunity. And then I think that my parents have passed away, then my grandparents and great-grandparents have all lived in this country, and we're here to make it better than it was before we came on this earth.
My favorite part was seeing the horses because I'm a big horse fan.
I would have to say going there out in front of everyone and holding my mom's hand and seeing her shoes just sink in the ground. That's just my favorite part.
My favorite part is just the celebration of God, country, and family.
My favorite part is spending time with my kids and peace and harmony. You know, no violence. Everybody's here together and enjoying their time with their family. You guys having fun? You having a good time?
Let's thank the Lancaster Auto Ball. Now let's start the fireworks.
Now that's how I want it to go.
The magic of editing.
And all the free and the home of the brave.
You know, that really was the best one we've had in at least the last 10 years. It was, I was just thrilled with it. My wife was. It was good.
I'd like to also, while there's Q and the other one, thank Vice Mayor Christ and the staff at the fair, because the coordination this year was as good as it's been. It was really, really well done.
It was perfect.
Let's not forget the Lancaster Auto Mall for what they put into it. Without them, we couldn't do everything that we do over there.
Good. Did you, the guy on the bull with the blue hat, that was me.
We had Sandra in there, but her unfortunate event, but we edited that out from a year before.
I really think bull riders are the bravest people who ever lived. I mean, it just astonishes me that they could get on those things.
And this one is our Thunder on the Lot. This is the last one.
We're here at the 21st Annual Thunder on the Lot, which for the first time is being held right here at Lancaster City Park. We've got a beautiful summer day, and tonight at 9 o'clock, we've got Foghat.
Shorts. Thunder on the Lot is a humongous fundraiser for 25 children's charities. That's how we define what Thunder on the Lot is. In support of these kids, we've got a ton of bikers here and classic car owners. We've got bands on the stages. We've got vendors like crazy. So all of these participants are here to support the kids, and we make it a very fun and exciting event.
It's very unique, and we're happy to host, bikers really for the first time. We don't have anything that represents them at any of our events at this point in time. They love it. They say it's about 20 degrees cooler. Well, and we've got some great cloud cover today, which is actually, it's a lot of fun to ride in this kind of weather and just sit out in it. They're not baking on the asphalt, so it's just a little bit different environment. There's 3 different entertainment stages. It's going all weekend. Headliner is Foghat tonight, and come on out and join us.
I don't know anybody else in this valley that does more for us here in the Antelope Valley than Ron Ubet. And I just want to say thank you personally for coming out and doing events like this and inviting us and the foundation.
I've actually been going to Thunder on the Lot since the very first one. Back in the day when I was a little younger, and I was always a tuner when I was a kid, and I had cars, so me and my buddies went when it was just a small little car show.
This is my first time too, and I thought it was going to be all grown-up stuff, but there's actually a lot of stuff for kids.
You know, it's really good. There's really good energy today. Everyone seems to be pretty happy, and it's been super fun. I love that it's a fundraising event for children. That's great.
It's nice having events in the AV, family-friendly things that people can do, and just the entertainment value here is amazing.
And Luke and Juan, who are here, are masterminds behind those videos, so they did a nice job.
Give us a little speech. Tell us how you did it. I was kidding.
Luke is not shy. You bring your lunchbox if you ask him.
Okay, where are we?
City clerk.
What?
City clerk.
Oh, no, before we do that, reach out to Elon Musk's people. See if they want to come do a presentation on that vacuum tube transport system they're testing. Okay? Just see if they want to. All right? Great, thanks. City Clerk.
This is the time to address the City Council, agency, and authority on non-agendized matters. Speakers can be found on the back table of the council chambers. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. State law prohibits the City Council from taking action on items not on the agenda, and your matter may be referred to the City Manager. Thank you.
Thank you. Kathleen Melton.
First, I'd like to say thank you, Mayor and Councilman. I spent 6 hours, and I'm on a mission now, 6 hours in court today because of BOSTA. I took one of your homes. I've been a taxpayer of your town. I pay my license fees. I do everything good. I am not a slumlord by any means, but I am sick of nobody stepping up and helping. There were 7 people in court today, all by BOSTA. Well, he blackmails you. They haven't paid rent for 3 months. You tried to work with them. You tell them, okay, I have to evict you if you won't be moving out on your own accordance. Instead, he hires BOSTA. I paid the attorney $900. They tell me blackmail, as far as I'm concerned, no matter how you put it, everybody's somebody's pocket. You're telling them that I have to pay them $2,500 or give them and another 45 days. Well, let me tell you, tomorrow my property goes up for sale. Everything I own in Lancaster is going up. Nobody once has ever stepped up to the plate. Now I'm going to go call Tom Lackey tomorrow and see if I can get a meeting with him. This is crazy. What happened to the landlords, the mom and pop business? This is part of Lancaster. We keep it going. Everybody, there's a lot of investors, but there's a lot of mom and pop things. Unfortunately, I'm a single person and I'm by myself. But I'm tired. This is 2 in the same unit. The gentleman, Jerry, right next to me, he just had it. 7 in court. And nobody does anything to BOSTA? How is this made legal that they can blackmail me? And tell me if it's not blackmail.
I can tell you a few things about that. One is you're absolutely right. It is the biggest abuse of our justice system that I've seen in a long, long time. One of the reasons they're able to get around it is they have this phony nonprofit thing set up. As a result, they can go solicit clients. Whereas if they were profit-making, which they are, by the way, right, you wouldn't be allowed to do that. It is absolute, I don't know if it rises to the level of fraud, but it certainly rises to the level of unethical conduct in that they know they have no defense. There is no defense, and yet they repeatedly assert a defense and tell you that you can pay your lawyer $5,000 or you can pay me $2,500.
Absolutely.
If the Sheriff's Department has not investigated these people, we would like you to do that, because I cannot tell you the number of citizens in all of the Antelope Valley that own rental properties that have been victimized by these people. And the other thing it's doing is it's clogging our courts because they demand jury trials. That's the only way it works. By demanding jury trials, it runs the fees way up, the defense fees or the prosecution fees. And so you pay the $2,500, it's cheaper. But it is nothing but extortion. And it is absolutely beyond what is ethically acceptable according to the rules of conduct, right? But until somebody investigates them and looks at it in a meaningful way, I mean, they are a phony nonprofit. There isn't any doubt about that. But because of that, they get to go knocking on doors soliciting cases. As the mayor of the city, and I'm reasonably sure I have the concurrence.
Oh, absolutely.
We would like the department to make it a priority investigation. Are you working on that?
I've had the cops out on our unit, and I don't even get back with them. Detective Barley is one of them. He was very, very nice, but I've not heard back from him at all, and it's been over a month now. And even on fraudulent checks, I said, forget it, I'm done. Prosecute it. Take the pictures.
Is the state bar involved?
Everything I do is, I'm backed up.
Allison, I want you to write a complaint to the state bar. I want you to do a little investigation, find out how many people have been affected, and do it on behalf of the city, that we would like this investigated. And one, the nonprofit status of the group, and two, just the ethical conduct of what they're doing. The judges would not hesitate to join in on this.
I think you're wrong there. Rogers is in there. He just throws out everybody. I mean, it's nothing but for the
Trust me on this. Trust me on this. Rogers would like nothing better than to do something about this.
Well, it sure doesn't look like it in my book.
Well, you know, oftentimes, if you're stuck into a system and a procedural thing you have to do, you just grin and bear it. But I know that for a fact that that's what the courts are doing. They're grinning and bearing it because it is driving a nail or stake into the heart of our system.
It's ruining our town.
It is.
It's ruining our
town.
town.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I got some other things that are ruining the town. But
I think it's really, really sad.
We're taking care of every one of those things that were ruining the town. Now it's their turn. Okay? Just they're up. Thank you.
Is there anything you would suggest that I could do? I mean,
do you have a gun?
I already said that, and they told me I'd go to jail today.
I just asked her if she had one.
I suggested that to my attorney, and he said, "Don't say that, Kathy. You'll go to jail here." I did.
What you have
I just soon shot him if you want to know the truth.
You know, seriously.
I wonder why people do this.
Hey, seriously, what you have to do is you have to recognize that it's a cost of business, and you have to build it into your business model. You have to raise your rents, knowing that this is what you're going to have to do on a certain percentage of your rentals. I know that's not right, but that's the only advice I can give you until we can figure out a way to run these people out of town.
To stop this guy?
Now, we used to get to be able to tar and feather them, and then we'd stick them on a rail, but you can't do that anymore.
Sounds good to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Allison, did you want to tell me something? Nope. Did you want to reprimand me? Or
No, you merely asked if she owned a particular piece of personal property.
That's all I did. Fran Sarasaris. Did I say it backwards?
You can.
What are you going to talk about?
I don't know. I've got little notes here, but I think my main note has been taken care of. Well, what I was going to talk about, I think you all took care of that, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I know all the seniors and all the other disabled people that are going to be riding buses will do the same. I also, my voice, commend today is, this month is Park and Recreation Month. And, yeah, that's what the supervisor said this morning. This month is going to be Parks and Recreation Month. The reason I was going to bring that up is because I was going to bring up a whole different situation, but I think I'll wait for another time. I think I've done enough damage for tonight. But I also want to thank you, Mayor, for going to the Annie Bell's funeral services. I was there and I saw you, and I really appreciated going there, and a lot of other people did the same. I did want to bring up something real quick that I brought up to the supervisors about this gas situation that we're going through. I asked, I said, why can't the federal, the state, the city, our county do anything about stopping and the increasing and gouging for gasoline from the gasoline companies? Most of the people can't afford to pay it, but we spent millions of dollars to bring the oil down from Alaska, so why are we still having to pay such high prices for our own gas? Doesn't make sense. And anyway, so I brought that up. I brought up a few things as far as the this water conservation, bringing in water. You know how you paid billions of dollars for this high-speed rail, bullet train, billions of dollars, and how many people are actually, I know a lot of people are going to use it, but how many in average of the community? When you can fly to San Francisco in 45 minutes, you spend billions of dollars, why don't you put that money towards building a pipeline from either from the north side or either all the way down from the eastern states going down Highway 40? You spent that much money bringing oil down from Alaska, and Highway 40 is almost a straight through because I've driven it from New York to Los Angeles. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Fran.
Thank you very much.
Mauricio Perez.
City Council, Mayor, I'd like to point on the behalf of electricity and the consumption of how we'll be able to improve it. I know the City Council isn't able to do anything about it, but I have this invention that I have in mind, and if you guys can give me some guidance as to where I may take this and go from it, it'd be much appreciated. And I think it could further us away from gasoline. It doesn't need anything but magnetism to produce electricity, and I think that it could further us away from the usage of nuclear energy and fossil fuels as well. Myra?
If Myra says it's worth my time to talk to you, I will.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I guess I could have said that different. Wally Melendez.
Good evening, City Council, staff, Mayor. I put down on my card trash. And as you know, there's a lot of trash in the city, a lot of plastic bags all over. And one of the reasons, you're shaking your head, one of the reasons that there's a lot of trash in the city is because there's not enough trash cans. I've noticed a lot of restaurants, a lot of stores, a lack of trash cans. We need more trash cans. I understand that a lot of businesses, they put out trash cans, but the vandals, they come and they trash those trash cans. So the businesses lose money on those trash cans. I like the blue trash cans that the city puts besides the bus stops. They're sturdy, they're made out of steel, and they're not easily vandalized. Now, my suggestion to you is that the city put out these trash cans on private property of businesses, because the businesses are not going to do it, because they lose money when they put out those trash cans because of the vandals. In case you haven't noticed, there's a lot of vandals in Lancaster. So I suggest that the city, with the $130-some-odd million budget for 2015 and 2016, to get a bunch of those steel blue trash cans and put them everywhere, whether you get paid by the businesses or not. There's a lot of bus stops that don't have those trash cans. I see a lot of people throw trash on the ground. I see them with my own two eyes. One thing more before I go, Mayor. Continuous service for the bus service. Continuous bus service
Thanks.
for the buses.
But Wally, do you pick any of that trash up?
Hell no.
There you go.
What about you?
I do.
Oh, well, I'm going to start doing it now.
Good. Shannon McDonald. What? I do.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council members, Commissioners. I actually got intrigued. There's so many topics I didn't know what to talk about, but now I do. This has to do with the difference between the turf versus the artificial versus the natural grass. And I did some research. Actually, a fellow by the name of Thomas Elias put something in the opinion section in the paper on the 26th, and he spoke about it. I have two cousins that went to Paraclete and played soccer. I have a sister that went to Paraclete and played soccer, and they absolutely hate the turf. They've told me, I did the research and found that UNLV did surveys on the turf, and it's extremely excruciating for the team, for the players, because they're actually taking pieces of rubber, the tires, the recycled tires, and putting it underneath that turf, which is actually creating this heat island effect. Meaning that if you have a house that has turf in the middle, and you have a house on either side, you're creating this immense heat that's not doing anything for the population. It's not doing anything for our environment. It's not doing anything. These temperatures raise, according to UNLV, an excess of 190 something degrees, 170 degrees. That means you could put your hand on there for maybe 5 seconds, take it off, and it's. I mean, my cousins are with shoes, cleats on. They're talking about their feet are blistered up by the time they're done. The loose gravel and the loose bark, I'm just totally against it. I already live in the desert, and I just don't want every single house to be landscaped with desert landscaping. I believe there's other ways that we can go about bringing in our native plants and trees in our environment, have those all over the place. Our temperatures are going to rise up even more out here. That's why I don't like Vegas. That's why I don't like Arizona, because they're too hot. It's hotter than it is, but we're starting to feel the effects out here now. The 400 trees that were cut down a couple of years ago for the shuttle, you can't tell me that there's not been some type of difference in their temperatures there as well. If we have this El Nino thing come, It's going to get flooded all over the place, all those little loose gravel, rocks, whatever this, I just don't like it. I don't agree with it. And I would just propose that we send those people that are actually encouraging us that live in the desert to rip off all of our wonderful things that help keep our environment cooler and start having people really compete for our money. If they want our money, I feel as though they need to start earning our money and start finding ways and stop being lazy. You pulling up our green is the lazy, in my opinion. Instead of us educating our people, still keeping the fines there, and finding grass that does not take hardly any of that water, and just making sure that we can still have a good environment. We're actually able to breathe nice, pleasant, cool air. And that's pretty much all I wanted to say. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. You're right about the turf. David Paul.
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, good evening. Another fun meeting to come to. Thank you for everything you do. This is kind of a moment for some leftovers. I wanted to let you all know that what I've been doing for the last month, my Mac crashed, Mayor, and I have to use my wife's. Not at all, and I'm trying to figure out how to get there, but I'm living without it, which is the thing, and it's been, I'm sort of low-key anyway, and lately I've just been reading a lot and watching a lot of TV. It's wonderful now. The cable company has RT, Russian television, they have Al Jazeera America, and they have the BBC, and you can really learn a lot about the rest of the world by watching these things and what they think about us. And the reading I've been doing is about the American Revolution and before and after, and what went into making this great country, and how we can keep it. One of the things in the leftover file, I just wanted to tell Councilman Mann the other day, this is one of the joys of coming to these meetings, because I was just tickled because you showed your humanity and your good humor when we were talking about the RAM charges, and that little snicker on your face was just exhilarating to me. It shows how funny some of these problems we have are, but how serious they are as well, and we have to meet them with that good humor. One of the things last time that I was a little disappointed about was the discussion about our troubles with the Justice Department. And I was at the meeting where the Justice Department told us that the Section 8 is the problem and we haven't settled. So to exhort us to do more things that'll get us in trouble, it just seems silly to me. I wish we wouldn't do that. Mayor, I know that...
David, I'm going to make you a promise.
Yes, sir.
Before the city pays the Justice Department 1 cent, I will cut off my hand. I absolutely commit to that. We will never pay them a dime.
And I hear what you're saying, and I thought about that as well. What happens if we take that position, right? I don't think you're going to cut your hand off, but we will set some example and some precedent.
It's okay, Britt. My left hand, not my right.
Yeah. The bit with the kids and the Cedar Center, kids like to party. So I'm willing to help you teach them to responsibly party, give them activities that encourage moral and spiritual.
David, I want them to have a good time.
Well, they do some of the things that I do that are fun physically, are incredible things. And thank you for all that. Hope to talk to you soon.
How are you doing Coursera without a computer?
I have been doing other pursuits. I have sort of set that aside, and I'm trying to work out really hard to put on a good show. I have my 60th birthday coming up, and I want to represent well. And to actually work out the way I've been doing takes 4 hours a day. It takes me an hour to prepare, an hour to really psych up to do it, and then just the exhaustion afterwards. So it's not an easy thing, but
okay.
I'm working on something for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that's it with the speaker cards. Any comments from the council? Nope. Are we having an executive session today?
Yes.
The City Council will now move to closed session to discuss closed session items 1 through 13. Thank you all for coming.
Does someone have a knife?
I am not going to pay those. We will not pay them one dime.
Brought my own.
Okay, back on the record, Marvin. City Attorney.
In closed session, the City Council discussed item 1 on the agenda, 1 potential case, and gave direction to legal counsel. No reportable action.
And for the record, the mayor returned with both hands. Attached.
Indeed.
Okay. Read this tomorrow. Okay? All right. The City Council meeting is being adjourned in memory of Annie Margaret Bell. Ms. Bell was very active in the Antelope Valley Senior Center and was recently honored by the Los Angeles County for Older Americans Recognition Day. Annie was a longtime Antelope Valley resident who leaves behind a legacy of service to the entire community. She will be missed by her family and friends. The City Council meeting is adjourned until Tuesday, July 28th, 2015 at 5 p.m. Carol, my day is done, and I'm actually going to Bex with Marvin. But be home soon.